All right, welcome back, folks. Welcome back with another vid. Now, I'm really excited about this one because we're here to discuss the first stage of the major, which is the opening stage. Now, they've changed those 20,000 times, but the opening stage is pretty self explanatory. We have 16 teams, 8 of which qualify for the second, which is the elimination stage, and then you have the playoffs and etc. 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 So, a couple hours ago, the pick'ems got released, and we're here. We're going to be doing those. And again, I'm not doing them alone. This time, I've got another guest who, when I was doing the RMR videos, was not available because he was getting ready for a LAN event in Stockholm. Is my dear Balkan Romanian friend who's coaching FlyQuest Red, which is the female team of course, the FlyQuest Counter Strike team. Mr. Munster, Luca, how are you? How have you been?
Pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't available. I was getting wrecked on LAN. But yeah, otherwise, I'm happy to finally get to see some major CS.
Yeah. We can spend like 2 or 3 minutes talking about what happened at Impact and what is going on after, I guess, the player break for you and for FlyQuest Red. So, unfortunately, you didn't make it out of groups, but just talk to me a little bit about how things went on in the ESO Impact LAN finals. What is coming up next for you?
Yeah, I think this time around we were like a proper team. We prepped very good about for the tournament. We had boot camps. We had two boot camps even. It's just rough. Uh we're choking leads. It's like it's not the greatest PS on display if anybody's watching the game. We've like kind of overcame our nerves a bit, but we also had like a tough group in that sense with people that
Mm,
are more experienced than us. So it was like one of those like you're coming into it, then like you lose to nerves, you lose to weaker teams, and then like you get better at it, but you don't really get to showcase it because like the teams are a bit better around you. Yeah, like we
okay.
put a good account of ourselves, but overall I'm not really happy with another last place, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. And what's next? Now what are you up to right now? You're just chilling. You're going to be watching the major, and then you have some time off before next season starts.
Yeah, it's like the closing season stuff usually. Like we do in the orgs. I'm gonna do some stuff in Romania as well. The local competitions. Yeah, watching the major.
Okay,
Supporting
yeah.
Navi.
It's good that you're watching the major. Unfortunately, we're not talking about Navi today because we have the opening stage and they're not here. But we're gonna have enough time to talk about IME and Romanian Counter Strike and yeah, the only Balkan to ever win a major. And by the way, I did post. You saw that tweet that I did about all the Balkan players that are
Yeah,
participating in the
yeah.
major. People were going for my head because I said Romania is a Balkan country. People were
It's a
calling.
mixed thing. I think most Romanians actually identify themselves as Balkan. I don't think it's like it's a
I,
regional thing. It's not really like a culture thing. It's just like you are from the Balkan Peninsula.
Yeah,
What it is.
exactly. That's what I mean. And even culturally, I think it's pretty similar. But yeah, we're not talking about geography because there was a lot of conversations. We're talking about the opening stage of the RMR. So how we're gonna do this? We're not gonna jump straight into the pick'ems. Obviously, they're available in game, and that's where we're gonna do them. We're gonna do this like the sweats do it. We're gonna do this like pros. We're not going straight off. Look at the teams and go, okay, I like those
Yep.
teams, I'm going to put them 3-0. I like those teams, I'm going to put them through. We're going to look at the
Yep.
matchups because I've always been a sweat and I always want to look at the first round matchups. I know we didn't do it about the RMR, by the way, and you called me out for it. And I just realized that after you said it to me, I was like, oh, fuck, we actually overlooked it, but we're not going to do it here. First things first, though, before we look at the matches and discuss who's the favorite and who isn't, give me your thoughts in your opinion on the Valve update, the fact that you get the top seeded Valve ranking teams directly invited into the elimination stage? Because I feel like that change mid tournament actually did affect how the opening stage is looking right now, and it made it so we have almost no top teams in here. Well, or at least
Yeah.
from my perspective, it kind of feels like the level of everyone is quite similar, bar maybe 2 or 3 teams that you can probably write off as below everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, Big got wrecked, so for that, like, I don't know. I'm quite like fond of Big generally, so I really feel for them. I don't think it's a thing that should be repeating. Like, it was a big miscom. Valve said, "Sorry, my bad," but like us in Counter Strike are very easy to please as a crowd because if "Sorry, my
Yeah.
bad" for such a situation is like acceptable, then like we are down bad. But I really like don't like this kind of stuff, but I guess the outcome isn't the worst. Like the outcome in what you're saying that we don't get any of the like big dogs in this stage.
Sure.
So it's just like the way it was done. Like if it was done before the tournament, it was like no problem whatsoever. So if it's fixed for the future, and if Gaben buys big a lot of beers, then yeah, I think it's cool.
But you think it's overall, you think it's a good thing that we have the
Yeah,
big teams in the second stage, and there's going to be no upset face
I like
exit
it.
first stage.
I like it, but I can see why, like, for a lower tier team, it's deflating. Like, you make it into the RMR, you do good, you do like 3-0, and then you still don't make it. Like, you maybe have like legit wins in the Swiss. So it's mostly about like formatting, I think. Like, if they want to be doing this, I think they have to move a bit away from Swiss, or at least make it BO3. Make
Well,
everything more legit.
the good news is there's no RMRs from the next major, so I guess you just get
They
invited
haven't
straight
said
away.
that officially. I don't know, like, what you're going on about.
Uh, I mean, it's
There's just rumors. Richard said it, but all I'm saying is not
uh,
official yet.
I guess, yeah. But if we're judging by the fact that Valve were making things official, might as well announce there's no RMRs on the day of the on the second day of the RMR for the next major. They could just rule the
Yeah,
entire thing
like
off.
if there's no RMRs, you're right. Then the
Yeah.
change is actually like productive in my opinion.
Okay. I want to start it in a pretty simple way. Now you told me that you have two categories going into this one. You told me that there's some teams that you want to glaze and some teams that you want to flame. But because I am who I am, I want to start with the flaming part. So which are the
Yep.
teams that you want to flame out of this group here?
I mean, I'm not really sure how we're gonna do this. Like, if me and you are both gonna have the same picks, like it's gonna have to negotiate. But like for me, 3-0 and 0-3 are very streamlined and dependent on the first matchup. So I put
Okay.
the flame teams. I put Rare Atom and Wildcard.
Right.
And simply because like they have bad first round matchups for them, and like for especially for Reatom, like it's the worst domestic matchup they could ever get.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of the Asia RMR, and I'm
Mhm.
at least not impressed with the level of CS there. The only thing I'm really impressed is that they're like bugging well inside the game. Because I saw like a lot of pop flashes, like a lot of like stick individual plays, but like the
Okay.
team element is so far behind, like even the level of European RMR that people that didn't make it here, that I don't think they can hang like in a BO3 against anybody
And
from
what
here.
about wildcard, by the way? Because on the rare atom point, I can back that. Because I had the chance to cast them a little bit as well in some European online tournaments right before, like a month before the RMRs, and it was a pretty similar thing. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that they made it. But what about wildcard? Because for those of our viewers that don't know, wildcard actually farmed the NARMR, right?
Yeah,
They fly through it in a 3-0 fashion. Stanislaus looking great. Some of the individuals are looking really good. So, you are you because you said that wildcard and rare atom are probably your 0-3s.
yeah.
You think wildcard have zero potential for an upset because they didn't look bad in the Americas.
I think they might be able to get a win.
Okay,
They would have to get it in a BO1, and they're starting against Fnatic, which I don't think they can beat, especially like prep wise. Because how Wildcard won, like in their armor to fly 3-0, is like they won some scrappy overtime games against any
sure.
team, like domestic matchups. I don't think like the player quality is like
Mm-hmm.
gonna match a lot of these like higher firepower roster. So what Wildcard will have, like the element of chaos that they bring or whatever, surprise a team like Big, for example, something like this, that they can like cheese a win off of. And like BO3s, there's like only a specific set of teams that I can see them like actually beating. Because their map pool is not that great if you actually look at it.
Yeah. No, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'm actually looking at some of it right now because I want to bring in some more context to it. And if you're looking at the map pool, they don't play Mirage. Nuke is
Mhm.
a bit iffy. Anubis is a bit iffy. Inferno and Vertigo are probably the only two sure things, right? Where you can be quite comfortable with them, and maybe an Ancient. I throw an Ancient there as well. I think
They
an
like
Ancient is
ancient, yeah.
decent. Yeah. But I actually thought their run at the Americas RMR was quite legitimate. That's the reason that I think I wouldn't put them to go through. I wouldn't go so crazy, but I think they are a team that could, depending on the matchups that they get into, let's say a 2-2 bracket, and then have a chance to potentially play a best of three against a team that's a bit more shaky. Because they beat Liquid, they beat Pain, and they beat
Yeah.
9Z. which are all in my eyes, those are all that's probably the most legitimate run that you can get in North America, bar playing Fury and bar playing Fury and Complexity. But you get Liquid Pain and 9Z. Two of those teams are here,
Yeah, I
and the
think the
third
Pain
one,
one.
in 9Z, was I don't know how they didn't make it through.
Yeah, if you look at it then, like 2-0 bracket, yeah, you say like, yeah, oh yeah, they beat 9Z in 2-0, they're like legit. But like after that, the 9Z didn't win a single map, and they did like a game religion basically in a real major, like went
Right.
0-6 for BO3. So for me, that's not very impressive. The Pain one is pretty impressive. I have to say, like they beat them on Nuke. It was like a scrappy game. Like they won some crazy clutches if you go back and watch that game. But I think
Okay.
if you have that element, you're able to hang in this RMR definitely. I just
Okay.
have to put someone at 0-3, and contextually it makes the most sense for me to be wildcard.
Right. We are gonna keep it going with the teams that you wanna glaze now. So that was the Flame. Now we're gonna move into the glaze, and then we're gonna check out those first round matchups, and then we're gonna get into the tier list itself. So which are, well, just to clarify, the glazing teams are the ones that we're
Yeah.
probably gonna be favoring to play the best Counter Strike, make it through the easiest, and if they don't make it through, we're gonna be uh, just to say frankly, quite shocked, right? So who are those teams?
I guess I don't really like. I'm still doing a bit the old thing where I'm not really sure if the MI30 is gonna be like actually going through. But based on quality of Counter Strike and uh the first round matchups, obviously, is the exact opponents of Wildcard and Rare Atom is gonna be Mongols
And
and
Fnatic.
Fnatic that
Yeah,
go make it 3-0 in my opinion. And I looked at like Fnatic's route, and I think Fnatic has like a very, very doable route. Like they would play Gamer Legion or Furia like second round, and for me that's like also advantage in their
sure.
favor. And also Mongols have been historically pretty good in like group stages.
Yeah.
Like if I was to point my finger at the team that's like the new heroic, I think it's gonna be Mongols because they've been like quite consistent to get into stuff. Like be doing good at the stuff has been like letting them down or stuff like this, but I don't really see Mongols bombing out that much.
Yeah, I think it's I'm actually a little bit disappointed because I was when I was doing my because we're gonna talk about it a little bit later, obviously. But when I was doing my predictions for Skin Club, there's only one team that you can point out as a 3-0. And Fnatic and the Mongols were the two teams that I was thinking between, actually, just for the reason that you're saying as well. I think, but for different, I mean, they're both really reliable in that type of a stage, but for different reasons, right? As you say,
Mhm.
Mongols right now is looking like they're looking like a pretty much a gatekeeper team. They are the team that you gotta beat if you want to consider yourselves tier one. They are gonna be able to upset some of the tier
That's
ones
true.
every now and then, but most of the time they're not losing to teams that are below them in the ranking, right? You know they can show you that they can play better, more
It's also
fundamentally correct Counter Strike than you.
like I understand this stage is gonna be really tough to pick 3-0s because it feels really bad to pick these teams as 3-0 because
Hmm.
they most likely will make it without like
Okay,
a clean sheet
sure.
regardless. But if you want to go for a perfect score, if you want to score those 3-0 points, in my opinion, I don't think you have the option like in the always to like put a fluky underdog and look at just matchups.
I mean,
And
now it
like how
doesn't
I
work
looked at
anymore,
them is
does it? Right?
yeah, it kind of works, but the half of it that was good, like the reason you would do it for to just like get your team out
Yeah.
if it's like a plucky underdog, like it doesn't work anymore. Because yeah, you have to put people like also down in the 3-1, 3-2 category. And the other like small reason I chose this specific tool is that for whatever reason they have like they have seeds 14 and 15.
Hmm.
So theoretically there's like almost no chance that they ever meet against each other. 2-0, whatever the score line.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, if you're ever gonna do like 2-3-0 or 2-0-3 picks, you have to make sure that's the case. And for both my picks, that's like applied.
I agree. I completely agree. And just to finish off the point, I think
Yeah.
outside of the context, because I said that in different ways I trust those two teams. You pointed out that the Mongols are rarely actually being eliminated from the group stages of events, and most of the time they make it in playoffs. They made playoffs in EPL, they made playoffs in Rio, they won Thunder Pick, they made playoffs in Elisa. So you're looking at a pretty decent LAN record. But then on the other hand, you have a Fnatic team that has been
Hmm.
incredibly inconsistent, that has not made any deeper runs like that, but a Fnatic team that has incredible individuals. In my opinion,
Yeah.
they just have players that, especially in best of ones, they can farm. But even in best of threes, I
Oh,
mean, I can put my money on the fact
if you
that
thought,
Body's gonna do
yeah,
proper prep for a best of three game, and they are gonna be going into it fully prepared.
if you thought Blame If farmed like one of the European RMRs, like
Yeah,
here he actually gets like more fodder to farm. Like
yeah,
he's only gonna get stronger in this. And like this kind of level with prep, as you say, with BO1s, like Fnatic's a heavy prep team, I have no doubt that they can easily go 3-0 if they get like shaky opponents on the other side. The only reason like if they don't is that they get like a hard shooting Cloud9 at 2-0 or something
okay,
like this. But if
yeah.
they get like a big like Passion, Liquid, like whatever, like they can easily farm them.
I agree. I agree with that, and I think those are the probably two first round matchups that a lot of people should be looking at if they're thinking about their 0-3 and 3-0 picks as well. But just to have some quick words on the other ones, so we're
Yep.
gonna do some quick predictions. Just look at the game and tell me who do you think is gonna win and why.
In each game.
Yeah.
Alright. Furia Gamer Legion, there is no way in the world I'm backing Furia here. Like they might be doing good at prep, like whatever, but they're still not a very good structured team. Like they have good gimmicks and stuff. I stole a lot of shit from Furia, but most of
But
the
you,
shit
but you
I'm
got but
running
you
is
got
Gamer
crooked on LAN,
Legion.
so apparently things are not too good, right?
Yeah, that's true too. That might play into it as well. But yeah, like everything I know is also Gamer Legion.
Okay.
So I see no world in which Ash gets out prep here, and like unless Furia just like live games, like two players, like their two hard hitting players are live gaming, I don't think they can beat Gamer Legion.
Okay.
VP MIBR is actually tricky because VP I haven't really watched recently, but I've been told that they're getting better, and I can see like why a lot of people might put them to go through. I just don't trust it yet. So in my
Okay.
opinion, like the better quality CS is right now being played by MIBR, which is like the second best Brazilian team right now,
Okay, we can.
in my opinion.
We agree.
Yeah,
I agree on that fully. I mean, I would have gone for the
yeah,
same two picks. I think the third matchup and the fourth matchup are particularly
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
By
yeah.
the way, because in the third one we have Liquid C9, and now the thing I want to say, I actually have an enormous trust that I don't know about VP because I watched VP as well, and they did much better in the RMR than they were doing before that. But I still, as you said, as yourself, I'm not completely sold on it simply because of the amount of time that we spend without seeing consistent level from those guys. Cloud9, on the other hand, with all the players that they have that I consider world class, with all the
Mhm.
with this iteration of the lineup and with the I guess ease that they were able to jump through that RMR with, I'm actually backing them to be one of the teams to even make it through to the next stage.
Yeah, yeah, me
Liquid
too.
though, I'm really shaky towards.
I think Liquids is one of the teams that is getting carried ranking wise by the like last remnants of leagues and like the Louvre agreement and this kind of stuff because
Okay.
like they got to display a lot of stuff early on and they actually got some solid wins like beating Navi twice is like a big outlier in like how in
That
my
was that
opinion
was
how
early
they
days.
look.
That was summer though, right? That was
Yeah, it's
July,
like the honeymoon,
August.
the stuff
Yeah.
like that, but like that gives you so many ranking points that people think you're much better of a team over a longer period of time that if you didn't have like
Okay.
the invite to be there in the first place. So I'm not a Liquid fan in that sense. I don't know what happens here. I think this is a big toss up. Depends a lot on prep, depends a lot of like on nerves. I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't look at the maps. I think this is the probably the game that you have to do the most research on to be able to predict
Yeah.
like map wise, like maybe even look at the demos themselves. So I don't know. I would back Liquid here just because they've shown more, but they've shown more because what I told you, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, I looked at the maps, and I think chances are this one probably ends on a Mirage or Ancient. And on both maps, I'm not sure who I favor. So I think the way to describe this one before we move into the Australia VNA Derby of the century, I think the way that we should frame this one is if you want to get a correct 3-0 or 0-3, you just don't look at this matchup.
Yeah,
You
I
just
think
leave both
also
those
both
teams out.
both teams might be going through. Like they both are pretty solid to like
Yeah,
get in there as the 3-1 3-2.
yeah. Agreed. So complexity fly quest. What is going on? Will Leash be able to carry complexity through?
Yes, most likely. I promised my organization that I'm gonna glaze my team. So I think they can make it through. This is just a super hard matchup. Again, like complexity has been like a team I followed a lot. I know like their strengths, their weaknesses. Like it's both are very structured teams. And when like when this is the case, like both teams like can read each other, can prep for each other, stuff like this. It's gonna come down to individuals.
Okay.
And right now, I think like complexity might have the slight edge, but I wouldn't like say it's like a 80-20 matchup or something like this. I would say it's like a 60-40 for complexity. And yeah, like as a pundit, you kind of have to back the 60 always, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with this one. I agree with this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think, and obviously I'm not contracted to FlyQuest, so I can say whatever the hell I want. I don't think I think both teams don't make it actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I agree with the fact that you're saying they are playing structured Counter Strike. I agree with that, or at least I'm gonna frame it. They are trying to play structured Counter Strike. I just don't think complexity is given enough to Elise right now. I rate Elise really highly. I still think he's one of the best rifles in CS2 right now, and he
Yeah,
has been since the game came out. But for me, complexity, the question there is whether Elise is going to be able to drop 35 kills in the opening game. I honestly believe if they get a favorable, a good matchup in round two, I think FlyQuest is beatable. And then if they get a good matchup in round two, I think complexity can go 2-0. And then I probably do consider the possibility of them winning one out of the next best of
yeah.
threes to
That
qualify through. But I don't
that's
think it's
like
going to be easy.
the trick with these is like like whatever you can predict is up until the 2-0 point. So like if you have a
Yes.
3-0 pick, you have to make sure that they're able in theory to get to the 2-0 bracket. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying I don't think complexity is gonna make it cleanly either.
I
Like
I think
Elish has
I think
some
complexity
heavy
actually
guys
has
in his
a
team, to say
uh,
the least.
yeah, I think there is a chance. Like complexity is that type of a team for me that even if they make it to a no, I can still see a world where they don't make it out. They just crash out. Because I think
Yeah,
they're
it's
that
just
type of
like
a team that progressively just they
I don't think they're
progressively go
chokers,
down
but I
mentally
think
when they start losing.
complexity is consistent at one thing and is losing to better teams than them.
Okay.
And if they happen to get like super unlucky draws in BO3s, I think yeah, there might be a chance to what you're saying. I don't think complexity will do a 9-0 game or agent to go like 0-6
Okay. Yeah.
for like maps played.
No, no, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. The good news is they wouldn't have to do all of that. They wouldn't have to win four best of threes in a row like Gamer Legion did. They would have to win only three. So hey,
Yeah.
I mean, how many 30 bombs can Elise drop? Last two matchups we have Big Passion, Pain Imperial. Before we get into the pick'ems, Big Passion is a rematch. You said that you watched
Yeah.
a lot of the Americas RMR. Did you were you able to catch Big and
I
Passion's
didn't
group? That was
catch
Group
this
B.
one, but normally in European Counter Strike, how I operate is that if teams are closely matched and one beats another in a BO1, the very next BO1 is gonna go the other way. It's more like how you say it's like not a stereotype, but it's like a superstition thing.
Sure.
And I think both teams are like very skilled. Big is very prep heavy. They've become like less of that like since got be left and under Kakafu they're like a bit more fluid now. So technically, like big, if they do a good game plan, might be like better than Passion, especially because Passion, like I listened to your Fear interview. He was saying that he was reading people. Man, I don't know what you're on, but like you're one of the most like set playing teams right now. I'm not saying like they're a bad team, but they're like a team that's easily recognizable. And I think Big does like incredible work there. But I'm
Okay.
still gonna back Passion. I think they have slightly hungrier and better individuals right now.
Okay, I'm back in Passion as well. Make sure you go and watch my fair interview in case you haven't. It's from a couple of days ago. That's why I'm back in them. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry, Fear. I love you. It's
I'm,
just something I listened from the interview.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I just back Passion, but I hope for the sake of it, Big qualify, and I actually believe that they can qualify. I think they are
Yeah,
playing the best Counter
it's a
Strike they
solid
have
pick for
played
sure.
so far this year, and I honestly believe the plus Regon with the way that they used it now at the RMR, because it feels like now Regon is being used more like the type of player that he was on Bad News Eagles, the Kyoto Eagles, and Blinken, blah 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 blah, all those teams. Whereas at the start of Big, I don't think I think they just got him, put him in, and we're like, okay, now we're reshaping you into the type of player that we want you to be. And now I'm getting the feeling of we are trying to let Regon play like Regon because that's why we liked him and that's why we wanted to bring him in. So I really
For
believe in
sure, it's
Vic
been
right now.
gradual. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
I hope
gradual.
I hope Searson does well. I think JDC right now is excellent. He's probably playing the best Counter Strike he's ever played. So I like Vic. I would still go for Passion. The Dark Horse story as well is really good, and I rate them really highly. But I like
The
Big
only thing
too.
with Passion is like they are technically rookies. So like
Yeah.
I've been there and I know how it feels on the other side. Like if they start really poorly here, they might not make it. But I
Okay.
think if they start with this BO1, like they can display their normal level in most games.
Okay. And then we have Pain Imperial. You said MIBR is the best Brazilian team.
I said
I
second best, yeah.
oh yeah, second best Brazilian team. Is Pain the number one?
Absolutely. Pain is playing the most European CS you can see. And this is also a rematch. I'm not sure if you said it before, but these teams played. I'm not sure if in the RMR, but like very close after, and like they're playing uh very commonly in South America.
Yeah.
And there's only one consistent thing is that Pain wins.
I'm just gonna bring
How
it
Pain
out
wins
there.
is
They've
tough.
played
But
they've played so far this year.
yeah.
They've played 35 maps or 37 maps, one of the two, between
Okay.
each other. This is only
Wow.
2024.
This year.
Yeah, this year. This year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it. I saw this matchup a lot, and Pain wins it consistently. But like, there is a lot of mind games there. I'm not sure how Pain is able to like be this consistent against the same team over and over and over. So
Yeah, it's
I have to back them. Like the track record just speaks for itself, and like the quality of CS. Like, no offense to Imperial, I think they're like a proper team. Like they're like a legit team. But I think Pain just has like they're just a top team now. Pain, like
yeah,
they're
they've
very
played
underrated
three
by the Valve
BO1s.
ranking.
Actually, the last three maps they played against each other were BO1s, and those are the only BO1s they've played. And it's 2-1
Okay.
in favor of Pain.
Okay.
Pain won.
Yeah, and the one
Uh,
was an overtime
the
loss. Yeah,
one
I
was
see.
an overtime on Mirage, yeah, and Pain won. Ancient and Inferno, I think, was the other one really cleanly.
Yeah,
So
13-3.
they do have the advantage, yeah, and I think the other one was 13-5. So yeah, now we
I
had a
see
look at
it
it.
being close, but I think Pain just edge it out and go on to do
Okay,
greater stuff.
okay, so now we had a look at the first round matchups. We're not going to be as sweaty as to look at the calculator and start
For
trying
sure,
to
yeah.
pick everything up. We're not going to be that nerdy. We're just gonna jump straight into the game and start talking about. Well, not start talking about. Just do the pick'ems. Yeah, we'll just do the pick'ems. That's what we go for now. And the only thing that you are waiting for me to do right now is set up the scene because this is this is the hardest thing to do. So we are already in the game. I've purchased the pass. First of all, do you like the coin? Short answer.
Mm, it's mid. I don't really mind it. I think it's nice. It's thematic with China.
Okay, I agree. So we'll start it. 3-0. Are we going Fnatic and the Mongols since there is a very low chance of them meeting and them having favorable first round
Yeah,
matchups?
I think your 3-0 picks have to match each other. So if you'd like to go for something else, you have to do a bit of research on like the other matchup. Like there might be another combo like VP Cloud9 or something like this. I just didn't look at it.
Okay, yeah, but this is the combo we've both looked at and we
I
both
this is
like.
my pick. Yeah, that's why I will go for.
Okay, okay. So now we have the 0-3. I think in the 0-3, the one I will agree with you on 100% is Rare Atom. I think they are level below everyone else. Now, the second 0-3 pick, I think is a little bit tricky. Because I honestly see a world where Wildcard, if they have to play FlyQuest or Liquid or
Yeah,
even Imperial, just whatever. I honestly see a world where Wildcard win something and get a map. So I'm not sure which
I think
team to go for the 0-3.
these matchups happened before, and like outside of BO1 in the RMR, I think the FlyQuest beat Wildcard, Liquid beat Wildcard, and added like with the nerves of the younger players like J-Ba. I disagree. I think there's it's the statistical second likeliest team to make it 0-3. But there's definitely other candidates for sure if you want to
You
go
know
for
what's the
another one.
one
I'm just
thing?
curious
I
which one.
I don't want to force you into it because I know you're not gonna. I actually want to put FlyQuest here, even though I know they've been
Okay.
playing alright recently. I would have put FlyQuest, but because you're the guest here and you're doing those, we are putting Wildcard here, and I'm gonna listen to you. I'm just saying for the record, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't go
And
for
man, all I'm
Wildcard.
saying is that so many pick'ems in history got wrecked by the 0-3 Australian pick. Like so many times.
I
I'm
I
never falling for that again.
I've never actually opted for an Australian team in a 0-3 and got it wrong. I think the last couple times when they screwed people over, I actually went for other teams.
Okay.
But yeah,
Then
I
you're doing the right choice now.
okay, yeah, I am doing the right choice. So we have Fnatic and the Mongols 3-0. We have Rare Atom and Wildcard 0-3. Who are the teams that we are gonna put in the 3-1-3-2?
I'm putting Pain up there,
Okay.
like my number one first people that will make it through. Good chance they make it 3-0 as well, but I look at the matchup and like they have some tough BO3 probably coming their way.
Mm-hmm.
And the tough people being like Cloud9, Liquids, like this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So these three, like I'm putting like 100%, I would say. I still like complexity, like to be in here myself, and the rest, the other two are soul picks, are for my friends. It's FlyQuest and Gamer Legion. I'm actually keeping on big for that. I think I will put complexity over big.
Okay. So we're leaving Furia, VP, Big, MIBR, Passion, and Imperial out of here.
Yeah, VP is a tough one. You can't really challenge the game.
And you're leaving MIBR out too?
Like, here's the thing: if you wanna get good pickums and you don't have like stuff to settle scores and stuff like this, like me, you probably put VP and Big instead of Game Religion and FlyQuest. I think that's the safe ones.
Okay.
But you have to have some fun, you know. You have to have some team you root for, and I think Ash is gonna be able to make at least one more stage. After that, it's gonna get really really tricky.
Okay.
And
Okay.
FlyQuest, yeah, you know, they're paying my bill. Like I have to back them, and I don't think they're a bad team. I think there is a way they can make it to the next stage. It's
Okay.
just not the likeliest way.
Okay, okay. I back that because you're not fully sorry. You're not glazing them fully. You are saying there's a way they don't, there is a way they do. I am willing to agree with you. Now, will I change a lot of those pickums for my personal pickums? I probably will.
Yeah,
But
it should definitely.
the fun part about it is getting a guest to do his own. I would say, in my opinion, obviously we're gonna leave them like that because this is your choice here. I would go for the same 3-0 picks, definitely. I would go for Rare Atom as well. I'd go Cloud9, Liquid, and Pain probably. And
Yeah.
I think those three are probably the ones that I'm gonna think about. I was thinking to leave Gamer Legion in. I think I'm leaving Complexity and FlyQuest out. I think this is the change I do. For whatever reason, I just have a lot of trust in them IBR. I think with a
Oh
with
yeah,
a
yeah.
with a margin, they're one of the best teams in the stage, and I really want to put either Big or Passion in. But you know what was the best news about all of this? Because we're locking down your picks here. The best news is I actually get to show, I guess, my picks in a way as well, because we are showing the Skin Club pick'ems, and now is the time for a nasty plug for everyone at home. So if you want to do free pick'ems and compete, earn points, get prizes, earn a medal, and get free cases, you can head over to Skin Club. There's gonna be a link below, in like above everything else in the video description section, so you can go and make your picks. Those are the picks that I went for: 3-0 Mongols, 0-3 Rare Atom, and then I have teams to progress. I have Gamer Legion, MIBR, VP, Liquid, Big, Passion, and Cloud9. So I've left who did I leave out? I've left Fury out. I've left Complexity. I left Pain out, actually.
I like how none of us are saying that. Like, why are you leaving Fury out? I think you said it once, and then you maybe realize how much of a mistake you did.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really tough, man. It's really tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, it's a tough RMR for sure, but
That's what I
no
mean. Like
Fury, I
when you
believe, from here.
when you have all the top dogs in the next stage, here is just so close. Like you leave Fury out, you don't even feel bad about it because you're like, well, I have Pain. I'd say Pain can
There are
beat Fury.
solid arguments for a lot of these teams. Like Furia
MIBR you
would
can
have to
make
be,
arguments for. Gamer Legion you can make
yeah,
arguments for. VP you can make arguments for. Big Passion you can make arguments for all those teams.
yeah. I mean, it's just about the route you take. Definitely, like if you're gonna go like odds and safe, it's probably gonna be like teams that are experienced and have done it before,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna have like Furia in there. But if you're looking at like quality of CS, what they displayed in their regional RMR, I'm happy with my picks. I'll make it through, even if FlyQuest let me down, even if Complexity let me down.
Okay,
But
it's
sure.
nice that you have the self belief, but yeah, that was about it. Thank you for coming over. We've locked in your picks, and we'll see if you get it right, and if I change them, and I probably will change them a little bit for myself, and you actually turn out to be right about everything that you were saying, I'm gonna be kicking myself. But yeah, thank you for coming over. It was a fun one.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine, Sid.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video. We're gonna do another one for the next stage, and then another one for the playoffs. Let me know if you want Luca to actually stick with me for the next ones, because if
Depends
you
how it goes. If it's
yeah,
really, really bad, you should definitely get someone else.
yeah, if it's really really bad and it's like 25 views, we're gonna go for someone else. If it goes out well, then we can stick with Luca for the next. But of course, all jokes aside, it's been a really good one, and I hope all of you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you here for the next one. Of course, make sure you go over to Skin Club, do your pick'ems, or even in the in-game pick'ems, and let me know who you've chosen to go through 3 and 0. Who are your 0-3 picks? I nearly knocked my coffee all over my microphone mixer, but we dodged that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next vid. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.